This is why we can't have nice things. Hi everyone, VOT here. VO stands for voiceover. That's what we're doing right now. I'm stepping in right now to let you know that I will be helping you through the first part of this video because, well, Walker didn't show up this morning, and Aaron, the next closest person I had to hand a camera to, had no idea how to work it.
Yeah. Are we taping now?
We are, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not the camera guy.
Is it rolling now? Was any of that rolling?
No, it was.
How about now? So we're gonna limp through this together. With that out of the way, let's jump right into it. So we had a special visit today from a woman named Lane, and she is the partner support specialist for Fronius, USA, specifically the Southeast region. We had met a month or two ago at the AWS-sponsored metal sculpted art show at the Taubman Museum of Art here in Roanoke, Virginia. I, of course, if you remember, was asked to be one of 3 judges for the competition, and Lane was there, along with one Michael Furyk, 2 icons at this point in the TIG welding world. Furyk makes high-end TIG torch accessories, and Lane, of course, represents Fronius that makes super high-end TIG welders, so it was kind of a neat chance meeting. Being that ARC 3, my favorite East Coast welding supply store, is a Fronius dealer, Frank was able to set up a demo here at the shop. That's what we have today. That's what we're doing. Lane brought by an iWave 230 TIG welder, and the Fronius badge has never graced the inside of our shop, and I've been very curious about these uber fancy TIG welding machines, so I get to lay my grubby mitts on one today. The interesting thing is I have always, for some reason, thought that Fronius machines are the most expensive, the most unobtainable, and maybe it's because of their pristine marketing. You know, their Instagram is called Fronius Perfect Welding, which is boastful, yet confident, and I like it. However, these machines are not, in fact, the most expensive water-cooled TIG torches on the market. The iWave 230 water-cooled TIG welding machine that we're demoing today comes in just a bit north of $7,000, whereas the new Miller Dynasty 300s with the water-cooled package and everything come in north of $10,000. Welding is usually, you're either Team Blue or Team Red in most cases. You're Team Miller for blue and Lincoln for red. I would imagine that's the case because of the marketing budget for these companies. Miller and Lincoln have been around forever. Fronius too has been around for a long time, but they have a much more diverse product line than, say, Miller or Lincoln. And Fronius strikes me as a company that doesn't necessarily need to beat you over the head with why they're good. They just make good stuff. Anyway, but yeah, most people have not heard of Fronius, most welders at least, which is odd because I have, just by walking into the ARC 3 store here in Roanoke. You see them right there on the front of the store when you walk in, and you're like, dang, that's nice. How much is that? More than you can afford, pal. But I guess, $7,000 for the ultimate water-cooled TIG situation is really not bad, considering Jake spent $4,000 on a Miller Multimatic that only kind of does everything okay. I think one of the key points to talk about when it comes to interface on this machine is the difference between, say, my Everlast 210 and these newer digital interface like single button machines. I'm a big fan of a well laid out menu because there are so many poorly laid out menus. Every machine that attempts to take a panel of buttons and condense it into a digital menu has the opportunity to do it very poorly. Fronius here seems to have condensed a full panel of buttons into a digital menu that actually makes a lot of sense. Everything works sort of chronologically. You go through the settings as you would normally to set things up, starting with amperage, really starting with process, then hitting amperage, the various major parameters of that welding process, like tungsten size, AC balance if you're on AC, and all that sort of thing. Really, when it comes to DC welding, this machine requires maybe 4 button hits and you're ready to go. But you can change all kinds of stuff. That feels great. And of course, so she showed me this earlier, and now I want to try to demo it. Do you push in on this guy
down.
here? Push down.
Yep, and then
Look at this. This like interchangeable, different cups, different tungstens, different back caps, different necks. Like you can just have an array of interchangeable things and then just...
and it locks back in. And then once you have it locked in, you can rotate 360 degrees.
Oh, so it's perfectly functional.
No, don't push in. Yep, and now.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
So you don't want this unlocked because then the gasket isn't sealed.
Right.
You don't want coolant all over.
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
So,
That's so nice.
and then it does come in a flex head. You can get a flex head for it
Cool.
as well. We have a cold wire TIG that's dynamic wire. So you don't set a wire feed. It rolls based on exactly what you're doing. So that's pretty impressive.
That's been
But
something I've wanted to see too,
that
like
has-
the TIG with the wire.
So that has a fast clamp system.
Turbo walker over.
My cameraman.
So hit me with the high level stuff. What is this? And
So this is, we're gonna call it the iWave for now. My machine is the old platform Magic Wave, but as functional as the iWave, the basic process did not change. So it's the 230i, which is a 230 amp, possible when you're on 240 power. Down on 110 power, you get 170 amps of output, which is
Nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
astronomical, and AC or DC. So I would love to have you try your AC on 110.
I'm a bit of a broken spirit when it comes to AC, and I
know.
I
We're
want to
gonna
fix
lift
that.
you back up. We're gonna lift you back up. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I would love to tell my electrician that I can get 170 amps out of my welder out of a 110 outlet. I
Yeah.
bet he was like, I don't believe you.
yeah, nobody like. In fact, I made the last time I worked at a school that we pair with down in North Carolina, Pitt Weld U. The last time that we had an event there, and Michael was there, I made him go into a booth and we put it on 110 power, and I made him weld, and I made him tell everybody, made him tell all the internets that it was possible and worked well. But anyways, yeah, the power output is phenomenal. So you have AC and DC welding capability. You know, you have all your pulse functionality. Do you want me to cover tack welding again?
Yeah, real quick. So it's got a digital interface, right? And sort of a single knob type of deal. So yeah, hit me with the high level, like the main screen, and then we can just pop through the
your
menu
main
real quick.
carousel, you got your polarity here. So you can just push that and change it between your two different polarities. You'll notice the menu changes a little bit based on what you're doing. So DC, we've got your start current. You can set up slopes as well. Your max current on the foot pedal. We see the foot pedal icon there, so we know we're active on that. You could set your electrode diameter or your tungsten size so that the machine will tell you if you have too much amperage on the tungsten. So that's
So you don't blow your
fantastic.
tungsten apart.
Exactly. So when we get into the AC side, you have the same options until you get to AC balance, and then you have your cap shaping as well.
That is something I'd love to play with.
Okay.
Like, we're kind of at the point where we might want to admit that maybe all the work that's gone into the machine, like, it might know,
Right.
given your skill set, you know, it might know a little bit better than you
Yeah,
do.
it might. Yeah, it might know a little bit better. Exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the same on our MIG side. We have synergic lines, and I always tell people, I'm like, if you want it as simple as 2 buttons, wire feed, speed, and volts, you can have that. However, when you flip it into synergic and it's now looking at all these different variables and changing things for you, why wouldn't you want that? It makes your weld quality so
works.
much better. It does work.
Right, and that's the thing, is like, there are so many other manufacturers that do like a you know, power set, auto set, whatever you want to call it. And I've gotten some machines recently that's like, that's the best thing. We know, we got it. Just tell it the thickness and the wire, and we'll take it from there. Boy, have I been disappointed by some of them.
Well, and I mean,
It's like,
everybody.
why even offer it if it's not even close? You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, if
Right.
it's there, it should add to your capabilities instead of just like make you confused.
Making it confusing,
Yeah.
yes. I believe there's more than 30 languages that you could switch this display to. So if you have a shop that English isn't their primary language, you can change it to what they need it to.
Will it teach me French?
It may teach you French as far as, you know, how to
Welding
say
French.
pulse.
Yeah, within the welding.
Yeah. So,
Pools.
Yeah, nipples.
so
Can we try some stuff?
absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Aaron's been telling me about the life-changing experience of using the water-cooled machine. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah?
I'm gonna miss that lava-hot cable over
Are
the back
you?
of my neck.
Are you?
Yeah.
On my torch, 36 inches back, I take a carabiner, and then on the pocket on my sleeves, I hook the thing, so I just have the hose
Nice.
always at that length, which is super helpful.
You're like a modern day Iron Man. Remember when he was like,
That's a very generous description, but I will absolutely accept it.
Well, okay, so let's hypothesize for a moment. I'm by myself. I'd very much like to just throw a tack on that. Boy, without, any fancy settings, you get a best fit up you can get, and you hope those two sides make contact before the metal melts away.
yes.
And then, of course, with stainless, I don't have really the luxury of magnets or anything really. Like,
No.
it's a fixture table. Obviously, I could
Fixture.
spend more time to do that, but sure would be nice to just do this, floor it real quick, and have it connect. So I'm gonna try that.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I tapped it, but sure did act like. Oh, that's weird.
What's in here?
It acted like there was no argon flow. See?
Hold on. Open this cup up.
Yeah.
Because there's something
Yeah,
in
there
there.
was fluid.
Yeah.
Let's take this apart.
Sealed.
Right.
You don't want coolant all over.
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Did you get that?
That was fun. How many times does that happen?
A couple.
Okay. Well, I figured out where the fluid was coming from.
Oh, you got it.
It just hit me in the arm.
I'm sorry,
It's a nice
Chris,
shot.
It just made me so excited. Here, I'll shoot it with the air gun. I'm glad I could provide that moment of entertainment for you all.
I didn't realize it was a comedy channel.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Conflict or
if you're not an expert, it's got to be funny. Because otherwise, you might learn something by accident, but we're all just here to have a good time for most of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So question about, you were saying you can program in the tungsten information, or the size rather, but can you put the tungsten material? Does it care about that? Does it factor that in? Okay. That, going back to like the extent,
thorium,
yeah, like
yeah.
a quick Google is kind of the extent of my knowledge of what's actually happening there and why I want to use gray when I want to use gray, like just as an example of it. We don't really know as much as we think we do.
Well, and like now, I just get like Arc Zone, for instance, has that light blue tungsten. It's like Arc Time tungsten they call it, which is like a jack of all trades and apparently master of most.
Yeah. Okay.
But with the exception of aluminum, I get the brown.
When we did that, like that's not.
Yeah, they all came from the head coming off, right?
That came from- yeah.
But when I was welding, I could see bubbles in that screen.
Yeah. But it's very like dark brown.
Okay.
Should we take that off and see? Oh. Like all that. That's supposed to be in there.
So, for the uninitiated, what just happened?
I made these pie cuts as just a sample joint, and just a tack, of course, is just a quick melt these two together right in the spot just to hold it. I'll probably do a series of tacks around a joint, and then you go back and start welding. So while I did get both metals to fuse in that spot where I was, it was acting as if there was no shielding gas coverage, which I guess the easiest way to explain it, there'll be, in this case, there was like some brown dirt contamination around it. It wasn't shiny, it was a really muted, like matte gray color. So just all the signs of a non-shielded sort of weld. But of course, we just set the machine up, we've been plugging and unplugging. I shot coolant out the end of the torch. So there was some, let's say, blockages in the way of the shielding gas. So we took it apart, we cleaned it. We're back in action. We'll have a sharp tungsten here in a minute. And then, yeah, splash zone.
There was no signs. I didn't realize these seats were the splash zone.
You didn't get the free poncho on the way in?
I do have one in my car though.
Do you?
Maybe I should go put it on for the rest of it.
Oh, we have fun. Here we go. Yeah, that feels better. I think it just purged the last of the fluid out of the air passage. 5th time's the charm. This is why we can't have nice things. Okay, well, I've never tried this before. So, first time, let's see what happens. I'm just gonna throw a tack on here. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Effortless. Whoa, shit. Sensitive foot pedal.
Sensitive foot pedal.
Gap's a little big there, but I'm tacked. I'll start with my filler. Look at that. Nice. Oh, look at that one. Look at that one. Well, fusion tacking already feels really good. A little hot. Probably doesn't need to be all the way at 150 right now. Nice. Started to get into my flow there at the end. It's actually like I'm over adding just because new welder, new machine. I'm trying to err on that side versus blowing holes in it. So it's, I'm adding a little too much, but there's like no valley down the middle. Gas coverage is awesome with this thing. It's good. How long can I keep this thing for?
What time is it?
We gotta go before I break something. She's happy. All right, well, that's just an immediate success. So that feels great.
Well, I don't know if I would use the term immediate, but
Come on,
Remember
first
those?
try.
Remember those first try? Yeah.
Okay, well, actually, since we're here, I have this joint, which is a slightly thicker V-band, so I can put a little more juice in it. Let me try that. A little hot, kind of slumping into the groove there, but heat control is spot on. Yeah, I'm gonna try to establish quicker and then feed a little more and keep my foot out of it a little more. Oh, that's not helpful. Fucking thing's walking all over the place. Move faster, add more often. That's pretty cool. Okay, I really want to try aluminum now.
do you want to do the tack function?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can you hear that real quick?
Yeah. I can
Yeah,
try.
yeah, try
I have
those
some tack
strategies.
opportunities here. So I am just gonna weld and feel it. Whoa. Excuse me.
They have that.
Holy
This
cow.
machine, Martin Willinger, who developed this machine, worked with us in the U.S. for 5 years in our R&D, and there are videos of him online with welding to the Death March, the Final Countdown, that stupid, spooky, scary skeleton song. Like, there's videos of that.
I mean, I was wildly uncontrolled with my foot, and it did not let me put too much heat into that part. That's, in fact, given the color of stainless, it's almost a little cold, but like that's nice to be on that comfort side and be able to work into it.
Correct.
You have to try this. You want to try it? Sure. Come to get in here. always known
nice
to
and
be a bit
golden.
of an autogenist.
You're being too careful on this.
So yeah, that reflects your slightly longer arc length.
That's cool, man.
I mean, that thing with little practice, that's going to settle right into a butter zone real quick and just be able to cruise. It would be hard for me not to just leave it on that setting the whole time.
Right?
So,
Is that bad for it?
no. You know, typically on something that thick, people aren't really using that, you know, not utilizing it to do the entire weld.
Right.
But when you get into those really thin gauge, you know,
That's
types of setups, sheet metal or anything like that,
Can you just jump right to aluminum with a gas lens like that?
So, I mean, that's not technically what you would usually use for aluminum, but on demos, yeah, I've done it.
Sure. What would you guys like to see? Comment down below.
These cups are technically DC only cups, but like I said, in a pinch, on a demo when people are wanting to play with it, they'll leave it on and it's fine.
I've got some snubbles. So does aluminum take more horsepower or less? Theoretically.
So theoretically, I believe more.
I haven't learned to speak millimeters yet. Okay. So typically, you know, when you're just shaping the tungsten, you do it on a piece of scrap. You know, it's not really part of your weld.
Yeah.
Should I also do that here? Just
Nope.
sort of do it, or just go for it?
Go for it.
No kidding. Okay. Well, I'm still just gonna start flat.
There's your chapstick.
Okay. Interesting.
It's shiny, lots of cleaning, super consistent. I might be running it a little hot. Of course, now the part's heat soaked. Easiest test in the world, but sure feels and looks good. That was me. Well, I dipped once, and then at the end, I backed off because it was hot.
Yeah.
And it felt like I lost the arc before I was fully off the pedal. I wonder what the floor is set at
Okay.
for AC. So what should be my bottom?
Your bottom would be 3.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Yeah, it was easy. Let's do the dreaded inside corner. I would love working with aluminum. I would build more things out of aluminum if it felt better, just because it doesn't warp as much. It's lighter, easier to cut, it's easier on tooling. Such a nice material. Okay, so normally inside corner, I'd be going to the frequency and like cranking up a little bit, and try to shape that. I might just try it though without it.
So your frequency's at 100.
100, yeah. Let's try it. Yeah, a little cold, but it was getting in there. Yeah, I mean, really, I'm just trying to get that ghost line just a little outside the boat. I've never pushed it that far, but let's see. Okay.
Let's see.
Well, there you go. Damn.
Like that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And again, this is such a fat piece of aluminum that still had that, like, I would still probably go up a little more, just had that initial heat sink quality to it, on the amperage.
Or the amperage, okay.
But once that thing gets hot and the puddle starts wetting in, it's real easy to control. You guys are onto something, you know that?
I've been around for 80 years.
Yeah, you should start making welders. Oh, that's so nice. You try some aluminum? Turns out, you do get what you pay for.
Let's see what you can do on one side.
Yes. Or maybe you think it'll handle a 1/4 inch?
You got 170 amps max on 110.
but for this machine, it's actually 170 amps. Yeah, I wasn't quite there yet. I was at 175 right there.
Yeah.
God, if you could do a 1/4 inch inside corner joint on 110, that's insane.
There we go.
I will put it closer over here. We might could get right into the wall. How long is your stinger there?
Not very.
Fits.
Oh,
You can use the extension cord.
Oh, we're good there.
Okay, hold on.
So then go ahead and flip it back on. It'll take a minute to come up because it's always updating anything that it needs to.
Footage of the plug,
yeah.
just so we can actually see. Prove it's 110.
Yeah. For the
No shenanigans.
That was that.
keyboard warriors.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
I will go on demos and people will be like, yeah, but that's not real. And I'm like, no, it legitimately, anybody that's repping our product is legitimately, they're using it in their own facility, the same place they use all their other machines. You know, there's no smoke and mirrors,
Okay. Oh shit. Fucking high frequency myself.
Do we need to go over high frequency, how it works?
No, I just had a crash course actually. Okay, well, this is 170 amps from a 110 volt outlet on AC with 15% AC bound or cleaning. I've got a inside corner joint, pretty thick. This piece is 1/4 inch, this piece is 1/8 inch. I just want to throw it to the wolves and see what happens. Yeah, I'm done. That's all I need to see. That's insane.
Yeah?
That just being able to establish a puddle from 110 amp or 110 volts. That's insane. My Everlast can't do that on 220. Well, I just dipped the tungsten twice, so that was all me, but that's genuinely proud.
Can you explain for the dummies out there why that's so?
Yeah, well, so welding, I mean, one of the biggest things about getting your first welder is, can I run it? Do I have the infrastructure? Do I have a 220 circuit? I need a gas bottle, maybe I need a regulator. Like, what are all the things I gotta get to make it work? Obviously, this machine is for when you really want to buy yourself something nice and you're done messing around with all the cheap solutions. But I guess what's impressive about it is that this will likely most of the time be in an environment that does have 220 if you're running a welding shop. But there are plenty of times when you don't have 220, like in the field, like handrails. If you're going out in the field tacking together handrails or doing full weld ups in the field that'll just be painted or whatever.
Boat repair.
Oh yeah, right. Smith, we have a lot of lakes around here. That would be real prevalent. Thank you. It's my turn to talk. AC welding for aluminum takes a lot more power. It's typically thought of like, I've never really thought about doing AC on 110, but like exactly like you said, boat repair, some infrastructure like that. It just takes a lot of horsepower typically. And there's no machine I've ever seen that can run 170 amps from a wall outlet. Like the same wall outlet that's running the TV or computer you're watching this on right now. Little did you know, could also run a welder and do an inside corner joint on 1/4 inch aluminum. That's nuts. I don't know if that really has sunk in for you guys yet, but really breaking down some barriers here.
That's what we aim to do.
Yeah. That's cool.
The goal.
Give it up for Fronius.
But it really doesn't make sense from an electrical standpoint because
No.
you talk about volts and amps coming out of the wall equals watts.
Yeah.
So if you've got 20 amp circuit, there's 2,500 watts maybe.
Yeah.
And then I know it's different because you've got output versus input.
Yeah.
It seems like a disproportionate amount of power coming out than what you're putting in.
Right.
So it's
Because-
amazing.
Yeah. Well, you think like the breaker is only rated for 30 amps.
Yeah.
So this is allowing power to build up. It's capturing it. It's making really good use of it. And what's the duty cycle at 170 amps on 110?
So I believe that's a 30% duty cycle. For 3 minutes you can weld on it.
Right. And then it needs to recharge
Yeah.
and cool off and stuff.
For
And
the
that-
other 7.
Yeah. Still pretty good. I mean, when's the last time you welded for 3 minutes straight?
Right.
That
And
you
I
have to
mean-
have the water cooling for too.
Yeah, and you're not gonna buy a machine to run 110 at 170 amps all the time.
No. So the effective duty cycle is 100%. Because
Yeah.
you're just going to be doing stitch welds or
Yeah.
Your gloves have a lower duty cycle.
right? Especially these.
3 minutes in, you'll be below the
Yeah.
thermos there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost negligible, really. Thank you guys so
Yeah,
much for
absolutely.
bringing this by today.
Yeah.
I've got some things to think about.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
And I got a free shower out of it.
Well, good. You're ready for your
Yeah.
next gig.
Yeah.
You're ready to hit the road.
Exactly.
The roads can be tough. That road
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
You know, you never know when your next cold shower or hot meal's coming from. You know.
Exactly right.
And now you know to be sure to ask if you're in the splash zone.
That's the
Or
time-
at least bring the poncho.
Yeah.
Check out Arc 3 for all your East Coast welding supplies. Obviously, they are a Fronius dealer.
Yes.
Frank, you have anything to tell the people about?
Well, we're partnered up with them the same way as the other major brands, authorized service and repair in-house at our store in Roanoke.
What's your service area? Pretty much all East Coast, a little bit inboard.
Yeah, from Maryland to South Carolina, solid, and then there's a little outside of that.
Well, yeah. I mean, customer service top notch. Can shops reach out and request a demo, or how do they?
Absolutely.
How do they find you guys?
Contact. So on our website, Fronius.com, you can find a distributor in the area that you're in. Obviously, like he said, if you're in any of those states that he mentioned, contact Arc3 and get with a salesperson. They will schedule it with me and I can come out and show the equipment off. So whether it be MIG, TIG, stainless steel passivation, anything like that.
Cool. Book your demo today. Thank you so much for
Yes,
coming by.
absolutely.
What a pleasure. Frank, it was good to see you, man. Bye, guys. Like, subscribe. You know what to do. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, Fronius. Corporate shilling, corporate shilling, corporate shilling, corporate shilling.